It's Gamecube Index, and I've got a bad feeling about this. In late 2001, Star Wars fans were gearing up for Episode 2, and the anticipation was running high. Would it live up to the original trilogy? Would it feel like Phantom Menace? There was one Star Wars sequel that was going to be a surefire hit, and it was coming from Factor 5. Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader was the incredibly successful sequel to the incredibly successful Star Wars Rogue Squadron, which was the first in the series and had no subtitle. Centered on Luke Skywalker, Wedge Antilles, and the rest of Rogue Squadron, I guess that goes without saying, Rogue Leader continues to show the adventures of our beloved X-Wing pilots throughout the entirety of the original trilogy. As a mission-based space shooter, the player is tasked to carry out missions based on events in the movies, and was thrust into the cockpit of X-Wings, Y-Wings, A-Wings, B-Wings, Snowspeeders, and the best of the best, the Millennium Falcon. For example, in the first mission, it centers on Luke and the Death Star attack from Episode 4. There are multiple missions like this, both based on movie events and new missions created for the game. Development started in mid-2000 when Factor 5 received a dev kit for the GameCube. The studio was in the middle of development for the Nintendo 64 title, Star Wars Episode 1 Battle for Naboo, which was in fact a spiritual successor to the first Rogue Squadron title. The desire to bring the franchise to the next generation of gaming was strong, so the team decided to start work on Rogue Squadron 2 and make a full sequel. Within 19 days, Factor 5 had a cutscene and a playable demo ready for Nintendo's Space World 2000 event, which wowed audiences and confirmed the direction of the studio needed to take. Once development ended on Battle for Naboo, the team jumped right into development on Rogue Squadron 2. It was a joint venture with Factor 5 and LucasArts, although a majority of the work on the game was done by Factor 5. The team tried to make the experience as authentic to the movies as possible, spending a lot of time studying the special effects used by Industrial Light and Magic, as well as even using some of the same sound effects and music. They even had Dennis Lawson, who originally played Wedge Antilles in the original movie trilogy, to come back and record some new lines for the game. Now, I have never been good at shooting games myself, so I cannot really speak to the difficulty of the title. I found even the first mission to be tough, but it is incredibly fun to fly around in your favorite ship during your favorite moments of your favorite movies. Rogue Leader does a wonderful job of putting you right in the action, what with the TIE fighters and the AT-ATs and the other dealies always shooting and stuff. There's a reason this game was the second best-selling overall game at the GameCube's North American launch, and the best-selling game overall at the GameCube's European launch, marking the first time that a third-party game had ever claimed the top spot overall during a console launch. LucasArts went on to announce that Rogue Leader was its fastest-selling game to date, and the game received one more sequel, Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3 Rebel Strike, in 2003. Rogue Leader still holds up a decade and a half later, and with the current anticipation we're all feeling due to the upcoming release of Episode 7, it might be the perfect time to return to it. That's it for this episode of Gamecube Index. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe for more videos from the Gamecube library, and feel free to send me your feedback, or follow me on Twitter at Jeff Girardin. Tune in on Twitch as well, where I stream the capture process while making the next videos. Tune in next time, when we're not going to use any cheat codes at all, wink wink, in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3.